Now look, y'all, don't let this shit distract you from the fact that the real American badass, The Undertaker, is now retired and most likely will never wrestle again. And I just still can't come to terms with that shit. That shit is hard to... Roman fucking sucks. What's going on, everybody? It's the Granddad of Granddad, Woolly, and you are here again for another edition of Woolly Reviews Hip-Hop Data. We got an album review today. We're even talking about the brand new album that just fucking dropped from a young cat out of New York who's been doing big things for many, many years, and he's been like on a roll lately, so goddamn it, I'm ready to listen to this shit because I've been hyped. This nigga's back. He dropped his new shit. He dodged a fucking bullet because Kendrick didn't drop shit on the 7th, and he shouldn't have because this motherfucker deserves his goddamn shine. Talking about the new album from Joey Bada entitled All-Amerikan Badass. On that badass, I guess. But for those who don't know, Joey Bada, like I said, is a New York MC. He's been around for quite a few years. He came to rise a few years back when he dropped his mixtape 1999, and that shit blew up. And then after that, he signed a deal with Cinematic. He has his own thing called Pro Era. They got together, they did some more mixtapes, then he dropped his official debut album, Before the Money, which was really fucking dope. I really like that album. Joey came through with a solid debut, and it really just further solidified him as a big player in this game and someone who's going to be around for many years to come. Now, it's been a few years and he's back again with his brand new album, one that's been really hyped up, really anticipated, and it's got a theme behind it that I think everybody needs to be listening to because that's what Joey's saying. He's like, this is some strong, powerful shit y'all need to listen to. So now we're going to listen to this strong, powerful shit that Joey's giving us. So now let's see if All-Amerikan Badass is a badass album that we all need to hear, or if it's an album that's just ass and it's bad. It's just a bad and an ass album because it's, you know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Let's talk about shit. Now, when I first popped in this album and I tuned into the production, I quickly realized that Joey is went a completely different direction than his past albums as far as production is concerned. Joey is usually known to have those rough, raw, rugged type beats, but these beats on this album sound a lot more polished and clean and more like beautiful and just instrumental and just really just layered and detailed, and this has a lot more to it. It has a lot more character to it, and it doesn't have just that raw, gritty ruggedness that we got from previous Badass albums. It sounds like a well-crafted piece of music rather than just a regular beat, and there's just more layers and details to it that really just helps Joey out get his point across with whatever he's doing. The beats also have a lot of emotion to them and a lot of just, I guess, a lot of just feeling to them that caters to the theme and what Joey is trying to portray when he's doing this rapping, and even he does a little bit of singing on here too, and I'll get to that. And there's not many joints on here that'll get you hyper excited, but the thing about it is I don't think that was the point or the goal with this album as far as the production side. I think it's really just something that Joey decided to pick these beats to really carry on and carry through his mood, his tone, his sort of direction with the whole subject matter and the whole concept of this whole project. So I think it works really well with what Joey did on these tracks. And when it comes to the production on here, Joey doesn't have that many producers on here, but it's also not that many fucking tracks on here either. There's only 12 songs on here, and the producers that come through and do it are the usual suspects, people who you know Joey's worked with before, and also they really do come through with the perfect type of sound for Joey to really get his point across. So I got him right here, hold the fuck up. So he's got, of course, Kirk Knight, Static Selector, he's got 1-900, Like, DJ Khalil, Powers Pleasant, and Chuck Strangers. And that's fucking it. That's it. And they all carry the entire album. And they all, like I said, bring a really high quality, nicely polished, detailed, finely layered sound for Joey to really do his thing. And I really had no problems with any of the beats on here. There were some beats that I thought were just okay to decent. There were some that I thought were really, really great. And some were just like between it. It was like really, really good, but didn't blow me away. But there were no beats on here that I don't think really blew me away, but I did appreciate how well put together they were, and it really just sounds great, and it really did carry along Joey's flow and his cadence and everything he wanted to do very well. Now let's see what Joey Bada has done with these well-polished, well-put-together beats, and let's see if the concept that he's trying to carry over on these tracks really comes through 100%. Let's talk about it. Now, when it comes to Joey Bada as an artist, he's got it all. He's got the flow, he's got the lyrics, he's got the charisma, the personality, everything on top. He is the total package, and it works out well. And that's the reason why he was able to transcend and get to the status that he's at right now. And the cool thing about this album is Joey's really went to another direction, and he's really focused on one specific concept. And that concept is pretty much being black in America and the effects of black people in America and just what we go through as a people in this society and how America treats us. He has a lot of different subjects that range from just being black in America as far as what injustices we go through, as well as just the struggles that we go through in general and how it shapes us and how we end up becoming a certain type of person in this country and how people are seeing us in this country, especially white America, how they portray us or how they just view us, and how it makes it so difficult for us to succeed and strive and persevere through so many things, and also how we are just not giving our just due or our credit for the things that we've contributed to this country. So Joey hits all those points plus more on this entire album, and he does a very good job about it. He's very detailed, he's very, very transparent about it, and he really gets his point across very clear and concisely. The only thing about it, to me personally, is that it really doesn't blow me away because these are things that we really already know about. Joey is not really hitting on anything new or different. I guess, like with me personally, because I'm a bit older, I've known about all the things that Joey talks about. I've seen these things. I've actually been through some of these things. I've seen people go through certain things like this, so it's really nothing that's different to me. And there's also plenty of other artists who have done this before him. But I think the cool part about it is because Joey is a younger artist and he does have a younger fan base. And with Joey being such an influential artist to these younger cats, it's sort of like his message will get through to them a little bit better than any other of the older artists or anybody else who really isn't in his status or position to really be able to convey that message to a bigger mass or a bigger source of people. So I get why he's doing that. I understand why he's doing that. And also he really just feels this way about it, which is dope. I'm glad that he's really, expressing his emotions and how he feels about all these things that goes on in America, to him personally, to what he sees, to how he just feels about just everything. And that's really dope that he can portray this in this great and this very powerful and this very, very just, I guess, honest way. And Joey does execute it well. Like I said, I just didn't find myself being absolutely blown away by this album after listening to it. Like I said, Joey's flow's on point, his lyrics on point. He's really giving us some great flows and great subject matter throughout the entire project, and he just hits everything that he's supposed to hit. But in the end of it, to me personally, like I said, it depends. It's a matter of just people listening to the shit, because I've already heard and I know about all these things. He's really just giving his opinion on those things, which is really dope, but it's something that really opened my mind or opened my eyes to something that I didn't know or I wasn't already seeing. And that's the thing that really just sort of like kind of lowers it down for me as far as with the whole powerfulness of the album, because it's something that I've already heard before, but I do appreciate Joey giving his take on it. But when it comes to features on this album, Joey did go really light on the features as well, and he came through with some solid features. Some of them I really didn't care too much for, but for the most part, there was no features on here that I absolutely hated, but they were just some that were really dope, so just cool. But I'll run them down, and he's got Schoolboy Q, Kirk Knight, Nick Caution, Michi Darko, Styles P, The Ghost, okay, Chronix, and J. Cole, and that's it. Now that's not bad of a feature list, especially for one that's so small. He's got some really notable names in there, and like I said, they all come through with some really dope verses. Some I really liked, some I really enjoyed, and some were just meh, okay, cool to me, or I just would have expected more or better. But I do think that they really did help Joey get his point across as far as subject matter is concerned, so that was really nice. And like I said, there were no features here that I absolutely hated, but there were some that I did like way more than others. But overall, they did a good job. Now, I gotta give you my top 5 tracks, and this really wasn't that difficult, y'all. Even though I could listen to the whole album front to back with no problem, there were definitely songs on here that I really like a lot more than others, and I got them right here. Hold the fuck up. Oh, here we go. So it's For My People, and then it's Devastated, and then Why You Don't Love Me, Miss America, and then Rockabye Baby, and then it is, hold up, American Idol. Okay, so let's go back up to the top. So we got For My People, and this is the first full song. Well, the first track is sort of like a minute long, sort of like Joey just coming in with like a little verse or something like that. Then it leads into this song. But I really like this song because the beat is very, very low key and mellow, sort of peaceful in a way, and it really kind of threw me off because I didn't expect the album to start off this way, such a low key and just mellow tone. But I really do like the beat. It's got some nice sort of like throwback hip hop drums on here, a nice little sort of like synth on here that sounds really nice. It sounds like a sunny fucking day in a way. It sounds like, a song that really just sounds very optimistic, but when you listen to the lyrics, this is Joey's song for his people, and he does a good job. He has a great flow on here, and he even does a little singing on here, which I really did like. Joey's singing ain't bad on this album, and it really starts off really nice, and I like how it just really just carries that momentum and that just vibe, and it's very, very smooth and soulful, but also really does have an impact and really does set the tone for the rest of the album. It's a dope track. The next song is Devastated, and I think this was the first single, and I really like this song. I like the beat on here. I think it actually samples an Outkast song, if I can remember. I don't know which one it is, but I remember the melody, and it's very familiar. But the beat on here is very sort of like Southern feeling in a way, but it also has these hard-hitting drums on it, and it just works well with Joey's flow. And Joey again is on here singing on the hook, and it's pretty much about him talking about like, yo, he thought he would never make it. You know, he did all this hard work to get it to the point in this game where he's at, but it was a point where he felt like, yo, he was feeling devastated because, you know, he just didn't think that he was gonna make it in the game. He thought about like, you know, the life he was living. You know, he didn't have no money, girls wasn't fucking with him, you know, he wasn't able to really live the life that he thought he should have been living, and he just wanted to do something, and he finally made it. But he was at that point in life where he said, this shit might not work out. I might fucking be working at Subway for the rest of my life. I don't know if he worked at Subway. He probably worked somewhere whack as fuck and thought it wasn't gonna work out. But goddamn it, look at you now, Joey, you rich as fuck. That's all fuck. So good job. You no longer are devastated by that shit. You're probably devastated by new shit, but that shit is all gone in the past. Dope track. Check it out. It's a hot one. The next song, Why You Don't Love Me, Miss America, is a very dope song. It's a nice conceptual, metaphorical song, and pretty much it puts America sort of as a woman, and we're pretty much saying as black people, Miss America, why don't you fucking love us as black people? Like, we did so much shit for you. You treat us goddamn wrong. Like, we built shit for you for free. We invented shit for you that you stole. We made the dopest music that you stole, and a whole bunch of other shit too, and we don't get no fucking like appreciation or nothing like that. You hate us, you vilify us, you lock us up, you think that we're fucking just terrible people, and all we asking is for you to just treat us right and just, you know, give us our props. Like, we don't ask for much. I mean, but you ask us for every goddamn thing, and we still ain't good enough. Goddamn it, fuck you, Miss America, and that fucking pageant you throw. Some bullshit. The next song, ROCKABYE Baby, is probably the hardest song on this album to me personally. I love this fucking song. It features Schoolboy Q. The beat on here is just fucking tough as shit. It's probably the first real hard, tough, gritty beat on the album, and it's like number 7. So there's 6 songs that just chill, mellow shit, and then this shit comes in, and it's sort of like a relief to hear a track like this to get some energy pumping through this album. Joey comes through with a really dope verse where he sort of talks about how like different gangs that are against each other as far as black on black crime would be a lot better off if we unified and looked out for each other, because we probably would be stronger and more unified as a people, which would make us more powerful and more respected as a people. And with Schoolboy's verse, he sort of like reminisces on his life in the gang and pretty much what all went down and how shit was there. So he sort of gives that internal view from Joey's sort of like rounded out view of pretty much how that concept would go. So it sort of like lends hand in hand, which is dope. But the song itself is fucking hard, crazy fucking flows and verses from both dudes. But I like Schoolboy's on here. I like how he comes in sort of with this like spoken word type poem thing, and then he just hits with the fucking verse. It is fucking crazy. But the song is hot. Beat is crazy. Everything works, and I just love this song. It's my favorite on the fucking album. Debbie, check it out. It's hot. And the last song is American Idol, and I really like this song. It's actually the last song and the closer of the actual album, and this is probably one of my favorite songs too because of just how Joey executed this song. I like the verse that he does on here. Of course, he really comes through with some dope verses, but it's really that last verse, that last spoken word poetry type of verse where Joey's just going in and just pretty much sort of rounds out the entire concept of this whole album in just one really powerful, really strong, really well put together and well orchestrated sort of spoken word poem that sort of like sounds like a verse that's just pretty much spoken and talked about. And it's really dope. I love it. I love how it ends. I love how it closes out the album. I just love how it just really just resonates the whole concept, and it's really just probably the shining moment and the perfect tip on the cap of the entire album, and I really think Joey executed that very well. So I like that. I love the vibe of it. I love the whole song, but that last part, I'm not gonna say anything from it. You just gotta listen to that shit from front to back because it's just very powerful, very strong, very well put together. Joey wrote that shit so well, and you gotta listen to it to really get the full effect of it. So listen to the shit. It's fucking dope. Perfect way to close out the album. And that's my top 5, y'all. And overall, like I said, this album is pretty decent. It's really good, but it didn't blow me away. And there were a few tracks on here that I thought were just okay. Didn't really do too much for me, but I mean, they weren't terrible at the same time. So songs like, you know, like Temptation, I was okay for me. Even Super Predator that features Styles P, which I thought I would have really liked. That was just cool. Even the song with J. Cole, Legendary, I thought was just okay. I mean, it's just like those songs really didn't do too much for me. I mean, some people may love those songs, but me personally, they were just okay to cool. But I thought the ones that were on my top top 5 are way better. And even other songs on there, like the opening track, which was only a minute long, that was really dope. And just everything else on there as well. So my final verdict, I'm not saying that Joey Bada's All-Amerikan Badass is an overall very, very good album that isn't amazing or mind-blowing, but it does get its point across and it does have some really good things about it. All I'm saying is that the production on here is really, really dope. Well layered, very polished, and it's just another step in the new direction for Joey, which I really like what he's doing. His flow's on point, his lyrics are great, his subject matter is well put together and well thought out, which I do like. But like I said, the themes and the things he's talking about are nothing really new that we haven't heard from other artists or just in general. And even though I do think that this message will resonate with some people, which is really great, and that Joey was able to really be so impassioned and really just take this whole concept and do it through a full album is dope. I don't think it's gonna be an album that's really going to exceed expectations like we thought they would have, but it is an album that I don't think is nowhere near whack or terrible and will be played and listened to quite often and very, very well throughout the year. So all I gotta say is that for me, Joey Bada's All-Amerikan Badass is not Granddad approved, but I will give it a very highly Granddad recommended. And that's only because, like I said, everything on here is good. Production flows, subject matter, but it just doesn't stick with you. It isn't as powerful as I think it should have been. And I just think Joey, he did what he was supposed to do, but it just didn't stick. And that's the thing. It just feels like it's just missing an extra amount of punch and impact, and it's supposed to be something that was gonna blow us away. The concept was supposed to just really make us go like, wow. And it just didn't give us that wow factor that I thought it would. And that's what it was. But at the same time, it is a very dope album that you definitely should listen to because it is really, really hot and there's some great songs on here. But I got nothing more to say. Joey Bada's All-Amerikan Badass is very highly Granddad recommended. So go check out his shit right now. Flip it. Alright, y'all, that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and drop a comment. Tell me what you think of Joey Bada's All-Amerikan Badass. If you've heard it, if you have not heard it, like I said, it is a very, very good album. Well put together. Just didn't leave that memorability that I thought it would have or that impact. But Joey did a good damn job, and you got to give him his props because this man really is impassionate and he's really strong about these subjects and what's going on in this album. And I think it's something that we all need to listen to, especially if you are black in America. Listen to this shit because you can relate to what this motherfucker's talking about. Previous videos on the sides was my latest single. Check that out. Show us some love. And as always, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram. Links in the description below. And subscribe. Button on the screen. Button below. Woolly Reviews twice a week, as well as the gaming channel and CDK studies. Check out all that shit. And if you're into anything, want your shit spotlighted, hit up the info below. Notification button. All that good shit. And I got nothing more to say. So until next time I take my leave, Granddad, Joey Bada's All-Amerikan Badass. It is a badass album, not the Undertaker level badass. You're running on the motorcycle and shit. I mean, I'm gonna miss that shit. Undertaker, why you leave us? And why, bro? And fuck that nigga. I'm getting off point, but this shit's fucking hot. So listen to that shit while you think about the Undertaker never wrestling again. It's not right. It's not fucking right. I'm out of here.